is right at home.
Oh, and we are going to Burn into T'Challa too to start things off. A nice little change of pace here already, as I like it. Getting started with our series here as the Double Mantis band, as we've seen time and time before, especially on Domination, is the first to go. But the Protect onto the Jeffy that has been such a large impact thus far.
Yeah, when it comes in terms of their team in Dreamland and who likes to play Jeff. I mean, we've seen Dreamland rock the Jeff, the baby land shark, before plenty of times. Didn't have access to him a ton last time they did play, but cool to see that Protect come in and change the game plan up a little bit. You know, this team respects competition. You know, we talked to Mace, and he knows very well who the top teams are here, as the strategists are getting banned right off the rip. And you know what? We have not seen a lot of teams do this against Dreamland. Sue Storm taken off the table for Valentina Eve.
Which is interesting because although we know that Valentina is a very strong Sue, she's also got a very strong Luna here as the Protect now goes over to the Ultron. So that further highlights the importance of flexibility in a game like Marvel Rivals. But the Torch ban over to Envy from Dreamland after doing some homework.
Yeah, I got to do that. You know, Nero's going to be going to that Ultron for sure, right? And if not him, it's Cal. So you're going to have to shut down the skies somewhat, and that's going to stop Speedery, at least in the air. But again, I talked about this. If Emma's left open, nope, there. Okay, so now they've done their homework, right? We're going to get rid of the air. We're also going to get rid of Emma so that maybe the Psylocke comp doesn't dominate. I like it so far for Dreamland. If they're going to win this thing, they've got to win here.
So with the Protect, though, is going to be here for Envy. While they try to take out 3 of those strategists, you're also going to be able to make sure that not only does Valentina is not able to play the Invisible Woman, but the Luna as well, as the Protect over onto the Venom is the follow-up from Envy. I do like this, as we did highlight Envy having that very strong Venom to Rocket composition that we've seen them roll out with.
Yeah, and time again, I mean, Window's the one that punched a ticket to China on the way he played Venom. The guy is just lethal, and now Venom at the best meta that he's been definitely is a welcoming change. Month does like to play Invisible Woman, so these teams are kind of focusing certain players of each team here, with the Venom being saved on their side. Typically, that does belong to Chuckles in his role.
Wondering here too if Dreamland will be able to rock the Ultron here, or maybe the Star-Lord could be coming in clutch too for a map like this. The vertical angles that you could really take control of, as the Adam Warlock is the final band here, as Dreamland cannot roll into this. It is literally 4 strategists banned off the table for Dreamland.
Yeah, looking at the options, glad the Mantis is banned, because that's going to just make it all the more tough, right? Chime going to go on that Jeff, Jabrori on the Ultron, and Speedery. Yes, we have seen Speedery flex over to Ultron before, so it's not going to be Nero. Nero instead trying to look at what options he even has made available to him. He can go Luna. He's going to go, though, with the Shark. Month on it, so we do get what we were looking for here in the typical comp meta that Envy's been utilizing.
All right, first map now going to Burn into T'Challa. We have our pick and bans there. I saw the hovering over that Star-Lord. That's what I was wondering before too. Just a lot of vertical sight lines here. Get out of line of sight and just be able to reposition just as quickly. But it's been great so far to see how tight the competitions have been already with our first match. Going into the second one though, this is literally a titan for Dreamland to conquer right now as we get started here.
Yeah, here as we go into Wakanda, the battle is set, the teams are set. We'll see how these teams choose to strategize this. You know, I do love Dreamland, typically is aggressive, and you can look for that portal. You know, I don't know if I would do any of the cheeky plays on Envy because they've seen it all, but that's what they've been known to do here in the tournament now, as we see the statues clash and the teams come out, and there it is right away. We've got the Doctor Strange firing it up, and it's Stinkers on the roll. What a change of pace here as they're jumping right into the action.
Oh, they jump right through the portal and immediately gets frozen too. They are taking the fight straight to Envy's face though, with Stinkers putting everybody in the driver's seat. They take that first pick off of Speedery and Window, and talk about already having that momentum as Dreamland make their way onto the point before it even unlocks.
3-0 what, Vic? 3-0 what, says Dreamland, as they come in and get this cap immediately. What a great way to shut down their best player, or, you know, top duelist in Speedery, and then that's just going to slow down their healing that they can do with Ultron down. So good job from them, and great comms. So much chaos going on there, but Loki, you know, he's the master of chaos.
Yeah, that is very true. God of Mischief. I mean, I would have expected anything else, but we also get to see some change up with Speedery, making that swap over to the Wolverine. Great awareness with looking at Dreamland having that triple Vanguard between the Doctor Strange, the Emma, as well as the Groot. And now with Cal moving up, being on that Phoenix, everyone's in close together. Another great hero when it comes to finding everybody tunneled in together.
And Valentina does have ult, but guess what? Cal can just match that easily. I mean, just insane job farming and getting that ult as quick as possible. And yeah, hey, if you get eliminated first, the advantage is you see their team, you can adjust, counter, and that's what we're going to have with Wolverine. Here comes the Phoenix now. Valentina smartly has not used that ult yet. They bust the bird. That's exactly what you want to do if you're Dreamland.
It's just shut down, just face blank, and just stopping wherever the Phoenix was going to slam down. Talk about the awareness of Stinkers floats up into the sky for that. But Chime having that Jeff ult gets countered with a reserve Meteor M from Kaluj. That's what we're highlighting when it comes to those Jeff ults. I'm getting that shutdown, especially on a map like this. But with the group hug, it wasn't enough as Chuckles lost out on Stinkers earlier on. And Dreamland now just trying to stay alive. But Speedery also with that ultimate looking from the side of Envy are just trying to clear out the point from Dreamland because they've been stalling out for a while.
They've used so much to try to get this point, and they're still struggling to get it now. 75 and climbing, and Stinkers is going to be able to portal back, but can they get it before the sustain runs out? And right now, Window going to now push the point. They do get the recap, which is huge for this team, as they could have gone crazy there, and instead, reset. Everybody's going to reload. They're not going to use the Agamotto. Stinkers going to Star-Lord.
It's crazy how much they had to use up and that stall coming out still as Dreamland make those adjustments like you mentioned. And looking at the ult economy here, and as Envy had used up so much, it's really up to Cal to be able to get these resets. But Dreamland having Mace and that Sonic Seduction is something else that you have to look out for as they're making their way onto the point.
Yeah, we'll see how they choose to combo that. They don't have a ton of follow-up with it, but just great, you know, ult in use in general here. Now we do have the Phoenix ready to go. We'll see if Cal hangs onto it or if he knows that he can just utilize it the way he does best. Chuckles, though, getting 1-2. Both strategists. Oh, my gosh. Steve Rogers getting the last lap right now as Cal tries to make it and even the odds. And no, it's going to be Stinkers and Chuckles going crazy for Dreamland.
Crazy names. Chuckles is absolutely chuckling after isolating that backline from Envy. Where did my strategist go here as Dreamland retake that point?
I mean, this is what you want. The dream is alive for Dreamland right now against the nation's best, near best with Envy here as they look to reset, reload. Envy's been here so many times before. Speeder going to get that portal out. Plenty of time to do so. We'll see what the shot calls are for the team.
As the Vanguards just line up together here, up on the high ground is going to be Stinkers fighting Nero. He was waiting, being cheeky to activate the legendary. Stop their push as overtime is taking away. And Dreamland now have their feet planted. Nice little stop from Envy as they wanted to wait before taking that portal. But the damage output is too much as Dreamland are going to want to hold on to these ultimates for the next round.
Don't look shaken at all. I mean, what a way to come out. And Dreamland typically shows how they're going to play right off the bat. And this Dreamland has come to fight. Wow, what a great showing. Honestly, right from the opening portal.
Taking a look at these stats, I mean, you talk about doing your homework during that interview. Dreamland studying up on the competition when it comes to Envy. Looking at these stats too, the isolation that Chuckles has had on this Captain America. Are you kidding me? The damage output already with a huge play on taking out the strategist really allow them to win those next two fights and prevent them from staggering.
And what did we say? Speeder was going crazy on his side lock. He typically gets to play Torch. Hey, they got rid of both those options with Emma going down as well. And right now, a lot of talk about Speeder. 0 final hits. Definitely wants to look to do something better than that here as Envy is going to try to make a different look on point number 2. But wow, what a start and a surprise for us and viewers. Dreamland has come to play.
As domination goes here, flip of the script. With these changes too, Dreamland have so much to go into this first fight, and that's the #1 thing because it's so important to win that first fight on domination as they're already getting into a nice cheeky position to get the dive going between Stinkers, Chuckles, and Chime.
Already, Dreamland has 4 ults ready to match the gauntlet, the Infinity Thanos that has been Envy lately now. Stinkers, who's been this team captain, is going to force the ult. That's a win in itself. He does go down. Cal going to get that quick pick on him. We've got the dancing on the floor. Jabrori to match. 2 big dancing going on here as Kalush looks for the Meteor M, is trying to find his target, lands it, connects it, but it's also going to be Chime. That was, oh my gosh, what a huge ult. Getting both strategists. He's not going to get them both off the map, though. We have at least Speeder coming back.
A nice Speedery calls in the extermination. Get this shark out of here. A little bit of revenge for Month, who had gone down as Luna cannot just fly out with her skates here instead. But taking a good amount of damage, Speedery does get healed up back to full health. And now dropping down is going to be Stinkers because at the moment, none of these teams, by the way, have even gotten to the point yet.
Stinkers is so elite. But yeah, the point not being capped is a huge call out These teams are absolutely fighting it. One always on the point right now. That's a job for Window and Chuckles. It's just Steve Rogers v. Steve Rogers. We saw it in the MCU. We're seeing it here now as Stinkers is going for the pick. Gets Month out of this thing. 105 health, but it's going to be Stinkers on top. Cal's got to get this guy out of the sky if Envy wants a shot for the first point.
Nero says that's none of my business. Went into the Jeffo and just completely abandoned ship at that point. When the Legendary came out, nothing to really help restabilize Envy just because of the strategists that had not had those ultimates ready to try to combat that.
And Stinkers is definitely playing his best game as we see the team up thrown there. He can get into, safety and get his team rolling as Valentina's got the ult. Cal can match it. I think he knows it here. The amplifier's on. There's the You Are Nothing, and that ult is nothing. Oh my gosh, he gets two with it.
And that was what them trying to wrap up behind them originally there too. You try to get something going, but they're back happening right behind them at least. Well, Dreamland, we're so fixated on trying to roll out from right behind Envy now. They try to contest here, but it's just a matter of time with the numbers still on Envy side.
That's a way to kind of reset there for Envy. 31% and climbing. Dreamland does have access to Jabroi's ult into Chuckles. More sustaining than it is aggressive. Stinkers look for him to try to get this thing charged back up. Speeder, execution, extermination, ready to go. And this is gonna be a tough point to take though if you are Dreamland, allowing the recap.
Yeah, oh man, but Window now giving them a little taste of their own medicine, being able to find both Captain Americas onto the Jeffs, it looks like, from both sides. Except Chuckles does have that freedom charge to keep everybody contested, but it's about flipping this point first, while Envy are playing a little bit split up and Dreamland taking their time.
Yeah, and Jabori going down with that ult. They just got a full reset now, right? Wait for the stagger. And at that, just like that, a blink of an eye, 38% and climbing for Envy has already taken the lead on this point. Kalu's ready. And now the entire team's going to be able to charge up their ult. They have everything they'll need outside of Nero, who'll be shortly behind, which honestly, just kind of timing that out, you kind of want that.
The Sound of Seduction, though, to open things up from Mace. Jabori is going to be able to get that God of Mischief just so that way they can keep themselves in this fight and get a lot more aggressive with the Sia, getting that copy over onto the Rocket. They lost on Speedery, which is a huge first pick because he goes down with that elimination here. Kalush gets stunned just temporarily, but there's that freedom charge to keep everybody in this fight. Stinkers once again finding Month, but with the Jeff ultimate, they get caught in it. It's the Captain America. He's trying to drop down to so that way he can help them out here, but over on the other side, Nero's going to be able to find Stinkers without having that legendary.
That's a huge pull there to get Window out. Window just, what a display of how he plays the Vanguard, just helping out the team during the ult, trying to get a little damage when he could there on the ult as well. Kalush now just trying to hold this fort down. Valentina already getting another ult ready to go here now as Stinkers pops the legendary mixtape in. Eliminations looking to go out, but he does not connect to anyone. Good rotations from the team. Kalush with 1 health narrowly escapes.
Even crazier that Nero was able to get out of the line of sight of the legendary. Wait just so that way it can still be impactful, and with Window finding Valentina, Mace going out next. Window says, I can do the Captain America just as good as Chuckles without having the Mace, without having Valentina, really having Chime and Jabori, as Jabori's the next to go. Envy, 99% in their favor, overtime ticking away. Even with these trades, though, they're keeping their feet planted.
Just knocking some of the dust off we're seeing here from Envy as they get right back into things and cleanly take, the second map. Nope, it's a sword finish. My gosh, the disrespect. But no, that was something. Envy just trying to kind of get into it a bit. I think they Dreamland did a great job on the pick ban there, Vic, and they just had to adjust to their comp.
Yeah, also the fact that they were able to win in that raw neutral too, and having some of these ultimates ready to go to combat that of the Sia. I'm thinking about Cal being on the Phoenix, making sure the Sia doesn't get too much impact, but not only that, doing it at such a good time when they're already so low. They're getting these follow-ups together with Window being able to open things up on the Captain America in a great fashion. Kind of similarly to what we saw in round 1 with Chuckles, but it's a bit of a different taste here when you're going on to that now, this third round.
Okay, Chuckles going to Hulk. He was close to the cap ult, so would have liked that, but you know what? I like this more for the aggression and to actually take the point, Vicky. And now they're also changing off the Jeff, so interesting look here. They had a different strategy. I don't think they believe that those ults could have gotten the first point. They know how important it is to get the first claim as the eyes of Bass gaze down upon us here, and the teams take it to it. Now, Window, 80% in climbing. Listen, Envy has sustained for days if they're able to get first cap.
They hang out here for as long as possible if they want here, Window. Having to look at Chuckles, though, making that swap over to the Hulk. And no more that we talked about. Dreamland likes to run. It's the Sia that gets called in for Month, though, as Envy had that ultimate going into this third round. Something that Dreamland don't really have. They're just going to have to wait it out for now, holding on to the choke, and it's a lot more of that poke pressure.
Yeah, they're already being pushed into their spawn. Is crazy work here from the Extermination. Now Cal diving in, not getting any picks there.
Wow.
They looked at, I mean, that's tough. They're getting Speeder and Cal both ulting, nothing from it. Wow, the positioning from Dreamland to hop downstairs in this thing, and now Windows got his ult, but they needed that. That was everything.
Yeah, that was crazy comms right there, too, and just the quick rotates. They literally counter-rotated around those ultimates, not having to utilize too much, because they didn't really have much anyways to work with. Month does get that BRB, though, and Kalush misses out on the Meteor M. Rare sight, as he's been landing this within the last 2 rounds, and now Dreamland have these rounds of rotates, even with Chime going down. The survivability is there with Jabori getting that God of Mischief and the Eternal Bond.
I mean, that was perfect if you Dreamland. 6 ults from Envy, none of them meant anything there, Vicky. And now Dreamland, they changed heroes. They farmed back up. They used Jabrori and Valentina. So yes, a lot of their survival's gone, but they now have the aggression. We'll see how much that matters to sustain the point. They did get the first cap on that second point zone we went to. We'll see if the same story, same song, same dance is about to happen.
The fact that they didn't have much and they could just still play patiently and counter-rotate to be able to have their feat of aggression on that point first. As Envy get a copy from their book and try to rotate from right underneath them, but they were met with the Psionic Seduction from Mace. Stinkers, this is going to be a ball game for him as he sends out the whale to block out their exit point, but no follow-up here as they want to get a lot more aggressive. You're going to have to reset from Chuckles too, as he is on the Hulk, and Speedery now just trying to find them up in the sky using the Extermination.
Yeah, good rotation there from Envy, surviving this thing. Mace getting the best of Kalush. Nero not getting what he wanted. These ults have not been good to Team Envy, unfortunately. Now Cal with the Phoenix ready. Looking at it, Month can give some sustain, but 50% in climbing is Dreamland. Remember, who wins this point wins map 1 in this thing. Envy has not lost in domination yet in the seeding stage. Now grand finale is up, Vicky, and the fight commences.
And the way that Dreamland have worked around this, though, and making sure that they're a lot better on domination as Cal gets Chuckles this time. It's going to be a nice trade back, though, with Chime trying to get the follow-up in the group hug now coming out from Window. So many members of Envy falling so incredibly low, though. The sustain isn't there because Stinkers has called everybody together.
What a name, man. What a name. What a player. Stinkers now back and ready with Giganto yet again, about to throw the well. You said it was going to be for the ball game. We'll see if he gets a strikeout here, throwing it early. He can't. The portal, the knockback. He does get the portal off, though. That's huge for Envy.
I was scared. I was sitting on the edge of my seat, literally by a frame. He was able to pull it up first before the whale came crashing down on Window's head, and they utilized, again, that Magneto bubble already with the Eternal Bond now just painting out the floor. That was an important Meteor M if he would have landed that. Now the survivability is there, and Jabori is going to be able to get this rotates in with more of these ultimates, with Valentina slowly approaching her own Eternal E, rather now with Chuckles now going down. Envy with Speedery, nice playing off the wall, is going to be able to do just enough damage so that way they can reclaim this point.
And that was everything, because they were going to be able to rotate into Nero on the Internal Bond straight into Month and keep this thing, but now they don't even have to do that, Vicky. They're able to build back up. Speeder can get into this thing, try to go for the combo there with Cal. So that was exactly what they needed to do in that moment without utilizing the resources, what it often comes down to. However, Vicky, they've not done much with these ults. We'll have to see if they're able to put things together.
And now at 99%, we're seeing some swap ups. Stinkers now moving up on the Wolverine. Nero has that for survivability, and Month will have that Luna Snow ultimate ready for that next round of fights. But with the double stun here real quick and Chime still being able to have that reset, it's going to be a lot to break through that choke.
Hero's got Eternal Bond ready on. The Q is ready to be pushed, but now 54 and climbing, almost 99 guaranteed between these two teams. Stinkers is going to activate that damage reduction. He's going to hunt for the prey as Wolverine does. Good rotation Dreamland has had on that low ground for once, and it's going to be Mace, though, getting picked early. That's such a huge loss for this team.
Ooh, and Month is popping off, by the way. The freeze up to Chime for Cal to follow up. Chime can't reset with that Phoenix ult button, and now Valentina Eve wants to back away. They saw that the Eternal Bond was used up from Nero, and with so many members gone here, they don't want to try to stagger.
Wow, 99-0. Now we're back to 99-99. What a way to open up the second match of today. Both teams won it so bad. The seeding was not there as much for Envy in the first group stage. Didn't matter anyway, but they want a better spot this time around. Dreamland looking to make history for this team in this board. Now Envy's got everything. You're about to see every Q press. It's the Michael Bay special.
It would also be a huge upset here as the Eye of Agamotto now comes in and hits Chuckles and Stinkers. Nothing to help out Chuckles as Speedery finds him and Kaluge with a Meteor M shuts down Stinkers. Envy have the number advantage. Dreamland, though, they have the survivability and they could get this dance up, but it's going to be Month who activates here too with the fate of both worlds. Now Cal finding Valentina Eve. The numbers are not in Dreamland's favor. No stalling potential as a final Hail Mary comes crashing down, and there's only so much Mates can do, but the portal plays allow the recontest from Dreamland as the staggering is still coming out.
Yeah, honestly, just good sustain there from Mace, allowing Chuckles to go to Strange and gave him a lifetime there of ability to contest this thing, but it's so tough to win off the portal, especially when Speedery's in the air, hunting down Protocol Speedery. It's Ultron. The age of Envy continues as they take map 1, but what a fight, what a finish.
You know, when I look at Ultron and Speedery's hands, I have to remind myself, strategist, duelist, because the way that he holds together with Ultron is just so aggressive. Beautiful follow-ups, too, from the Terror Cape at the very end. But Envy were ready as Dreamland could not recontest, but it was still an incredibly close first map.
Damn, if you're Dreamland, though, you hope that one doesn't slip through your fingertips because it was theirs the entire way. Up one map, lost the second, 99-0 on the third, but could not come home with it. But if you are Dreamland, domination has been their dominant performance there for Envy, and you just took it to the stretch limit, right? So you know what you have, what it takes to go toe-to-toe with this team.
100%. And I actually think that these individual players on Dreamland already know that, really. Like, that's why they've been focusing so hard on trying to improve together as a team with that cohesion. As you can see right there, the stats, though, and taking a look at some of the highlights, Mace from Dreamland was popping off, shutting down a lot of opportunities from Envy, but they really started off with Dreamland having that explosive early portal play.
Yeah, I'm not going to say really Cal was able to finally get the best of Stinkers. Stinkers was just the dog off the leash, man. He was getting anything he wanted from there, and finally things were starting to connect there from Cal and was able to get that job done. The sustain was there, but I mean, Envy looked at their weakest there on point 3, and they were still able to come back. That's just the story of this team. They don't break. You really got to ensure you get, the final hit on Thanos to get him down, and you should have gone for the head, is what Thanos always said best. Envy's probably mimicking the same.
The way that they're able to just keep coming back around, though, and aside from the survivability that we have, you cannot just ignore Speedery. At times, even with the swap-up that you could see with Stinkers being on the Wolverine, and we saw them trying to get the fastball special at sometimes, they weren't able to isolate Speedery. That's what I felt like that was the goal there, but Speedery was also playing in such a good position that it was difficult to shut him down as we take a look at our MVP, Cal.
I love Cal. Cal's been so fun to get to know in person. And I mean, this just shows what we highlighted. We said Cal and Tap, they sub in for each other. I mean, easily getting the MVP here just shows just how much talent they have on this roster and championship caliber team. 27 KOs as they get the first win on domination. So going into our next matchup here, Vic, I mean, I think in terms of pick ban, I think Dreamland's probably pretty happy with what they got, but yeah, fool me once, right? Shame on myself, and I think that Envy's going to be able to adapt to what was kind of a weak point in that early stage of the game.
Yeah, you look at the differences, and even though Dreamland had great stats on their own, it's that kill to survive ratio, right, that you usually see coming through with Envy, and the way that they're able to just replace what has been seen from the other side, whether it be counter-rotating and taking a note themselves, as they did a few times to not waste out on some ultimates themselves, and in the way that they were able to just reposition around that Wolverine too at the very end.
Yeah, just no weak points. I mean, heck, they were one whale away. That portal got off with 94%. I couldn't believe it, guys. It's neck and neck here, these two teams. It's talent across the board. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break and get right back to the action.
going down. Judge, jury, executioner!
What's going on, guys, and welcome back. Hope you guys have been enjoying what has been a good day 6. I mean, the matches have been pretty dang close, a lot more than we thought, especially in that last one against Envy Dreamland. Do they have what it takes, or will we see 2-0, what has been common practice for Envy, and where they land right now? What do you think it is for the key for success for Dreamland to make this thing 1-1, Vic?
Maybe a 0.1 to 0.2 second faster to more would have been crazy, by the way, because the Magneto bubble did get pushed out eventually in that interaction. But honestly, I just feel like the way that Dreamland's bans looked like, they looked very strong. You look on the other side of Envy, they really wanted to fixate that strategist being a problem. As we know Valentina, as strong as she has been between the Luna as well as the Invisible Woman, was off the table for them, but she still made it work there with the Rocket. So I'm thinking here, you want to isolate Cal being a problem. Star-Lord, could really pop off on the next map that we're going on to, which will be Spider Islands, and it could be Star-Lord's playground, essentially. So maybe looking at that, Rocket 2 has been a problem there as well, but then, could work as a double-edged sword, as that's something else that Dreamland wants to look like for themselves.
Spider Island, could we see a Psylocke v Psylocke maybe? That'd be fun. Speeder versus Stinkers, two of the best going at it. I mean, listen, I think the Thanos analogy goes perfectly, because I feel like Envy, when you watch Infinity War and they're doing everything perfect against Thanos, like, they're gonna get it, it's about to happen, and then it didn't, right? I feel like Envy, they missed the olds, things were kind of out of whack, they were down 1-0. That was the time, right, to get that in. So we have to see what Dreamland bounces back with here as we go into our second matchup. But yeah, it's interesting to see kind of how they decide to go about it, if they're going to continue to lean everything, damage DPS wise on Stinkers, who could definitely answer the call, and if Cal can pick them off from the skies that we've been seeing here as the stage is set. It's 0-1 Envy as we head into Spider Island.
Let's see here, with the Ultron constantly being a problem too, as we've seen already within our last series, going into this one alone, starting things off with both ammas off the table for these two teams.
Yeah, that's a good start, I think. Now not giving Psylocke, just the ninja, the opportunity to prowl here, as Ultron is going to get saved. Nero going to have access to that if they want to go with that look. Speedery played him last time, though, so we'll see how the pick and bans kind of roll out Once again, the Mantis not being available is huge. They could protect the Mantis here if they so choose, but that's just not how Dreamland plays. They don't rely too much on the Mantis Venom thing.
Yeah, I agree. That's more so something that Envy would like to rely on, which is why you can constantly see these Mantis bans, especially when you have a flyer up in the air. I mean, if Speedery was a problem after they protect the Ultron, he would definitely be a problem if he had the Mantis damage boost here. Also wondering, Envy also being able to roll out with the Hulk potentially as the Doctor Strange ban comes out next from Envy. That's going to be huge as Dreamland won't be able to recontest.
Yeah, they're going to target Mace right now. That's what we're seeing, guys. Emma's down. Strange is down. Those are Mace's 2 picks. All yesterday, those are the 2 heroes that he played. He does flex into Magneto sometimes, but that is depending on the lineup here. We do see, again, that Human Torch ban. You have to use a ban on that against Speeder. You cannot give him that. Venom gone too. It is the Vanguard look. And, you know, we just saw that didn't work out for Nemesis, but it depends on the team you play. And Envy feels like if they cut that out of their roster, the keys to success will happen as Magneto is going to be saved, and that's what Mace is going to have.
Okay, and what's cool too is that with Envy banning out the Venom, we've seen Chuckles pop off on the Venom before, so that's something else that they've noted. Wondering what that next ban from Envy is going to look like, as that last save over onto Dreamland, also trying to navigate around the lackluster Vanguard lineup for Mace himself. The Ultron, though, will not be available for Dreamland, and I keep talking about this verticality, but again, it's one of those maps that you have so much area to get out of line of sight with these buildings.
Yeah, both teams now with 1 save left to go, 1 ban. If you're Envy, you can go with a few options here. We'll see if they decide. Yeah, that's what I expected. You know, just giving Window that option. Window obviously does love that captain as well, but you know, Venom having that in the toolkit is definitely going to be nice for what they plan on going with now. If you're going for the last ban, there's a few ways to go about it. I know last time, again, they kind of leaned into Speedery's kit, but with Emma and Torch gone, they're going to go with Jeff last, which I think is a good call.
On this map, Jeff could get a little crazy here, so no more Jeff, but the protect onto Jeff is going to allow Dreamland to have that as a safety net too. I'm also going to be able to look at the fact that Dreamland is starting off on the defense. You know what they're going to be rocking here with the triple Vanguard, triple Strategist usually, as Envy are looking to break through that chokehold. Speedery taking to the skies in a different method, you know, if it's not going to be the Ultron.
Kaluge is flashing the Thor. He's like, come on. Let me out of the chains, God of Thunder. He could cosplay him if he wanted to. Now, map 2, Convoy, Spider Island. And it's always fun to see kind of how these two teams work. Now, I will say in the past, Dreamland typically plays 2-2-2, even on what is a better kind of strategist Vanguard triple, you know, lineup. We have seen those stinkers flex into that. He's just so good, though, so sometimes it's tough not to allow him do his thing. We'll see what kind of role they like to play. Both these teams actually do prefer their 2-2-2 lineups in the past. They can show flexibility as we take a tour here through Spider Island.
One of my favorite maps here that I learned the game with as well, but with Envy leading the way in this series, it's best of 3. We have to keep piloting this. It's going to be tough. Little to no room for error as we get started. 1 more game to go if Envy ends up taking this here. And Dreamland already holding back just a little bit with Jabor, holding this chokehold with Loki.
They are going to go with the triple, so that's good for them. I'm glad that they are going to be able to flex into that Dreamland now, looking to speed things up. Speedery, so many teams we see you Storm for the damage boost. The Speedery by far the deadliest there on the X-Men now, pushing in early. Look at this, the ult charge is just firing away for everybody. We're going to get ults across the team, Vicky, within seconds.
Okay, look at Valentina's healing output too. The fact that you're about to have that invisible boundary this quick, it just highlights how much damage output Speedery's putting in, but the pull in from Valentina Eve shuts down Speedery at the same time.
I mean, goodness, they got rid of everything from Ace. He goes to Magneto, and he does just fine. As we do have Invisible Boundary ready. Remember, Valentina could not play Invisible Woman last time. We'll see if Sue is the difference here. It has been lately for this team now. Oh my goodness, the Groot ult already going down. Chuckles getting Speedery. You've got the Rocket Raccoon to help buff things up there. Nero giving his team a little bit of a path to success and healing now. Pushing in. We had a couple ults come through. We got the slam dunk happening. Mace throws him down, and Chime gets the finish.
And just enough damage, but now it's Kaluge's turn. Meteor M, and he is fighting his demons. Maybe hitting Ghost in the back there too, but unfortunately misses out as the Invisible Boundary comes in now from Month as Speedery tries to utilize that Omega Hurricane. Valentina now also looking at Speedery, and Speedery alongside Envy are trying to clear up this gap by this choke. The pull in as well as Mace falls incredibly low.
A little bit more of the same, right? I don't love that ult usage there after losing a few on the fight. Now going right into a Groot ult is going to be massive. Stinkers gets them all together, but there it goes. Cal is going to get Valentina out of this thing. That's one strategist down. He's looking for that reset. He finds it, but unfortunately, I think that clone fell. Nope, he got it again. It's Cal doing Cal things. 1, 2, 3. The team is down. The ace is ready. Wow.
Bucket Barnes coming through to play. You get that reset opportunity, and the first thing I would want to do is, all right, my Loki clones may work against us here if you're Dreamland, but it was just everybody of Dreamland up in Cal's line of sight. The calm before the storm now as Envy get to clear this space, and Mace, who shows up for 1 second, almost gets annihilated.
Cal doesn't miss, man. He just marks with that ultimate now as Chuckle's going for the thing, trying to get a little bit of a break up. Invisible Woman up, ready, keeping the sustain there. There you go. Another ult window throwing everybody together. Kalush does have the Meteor M. He's going to go up with the slam dunk, but Speedery first with the Omega Hurricane. Doesn't find much. Window, though, does capitalize. Kalush, hasn't gotten these today, but he slams it down. Goodbye, Dreamland, as they get the first point.
Just enough damage to slam it down. Find that last strategist there for Dreamland, but Envy with Cal being on the Bucky has been a problem already here, and in this next point too, I feel like it's going to be even more difficult. You get to take up to the high ground, and Mace has been taking a lot of damage, but Dreamland do have these 2 ultimates coming up.
Yeah, Cal now just trying to get that ult charge. 70% in climbing. Windows far from it. Envy used a lot to get that, but who cares? They've got 3 minutes and 20 left. Stinkers now shifted over, has the damage boost from Chime, which they did give him that Mantis, but we'll see if they just let Stinkers do his thing now. Us undefeatable, us against the world is going now. Stinkers throwing down the Phoenix. Seeing if they can combine this with Mace. Can they land this on the button? Oh, it was there, but it wasn't, Vic.
We're so close, but and Chime then finds Cal while Cal had the ultimate available. This is the turnaround that Dreamland needed to replant their feet with some momentum too.
And way to, even though they're not get the connections they were looking for, at least get the wipes. Have to be careful here. Mace has gotten picked a couple times with that aggression. You know, you want to keep them honest, but don't get caught off guard. Mace now rotating back. I mean, goodness, he's just at least charging up the strategist ult Vic because the Envy's laying it on him. Cal's got it ready to go. We saw what happened last time when Bucky Barnes, Metal Arm, Mortal Aim, and here comes the extermination.
When you have this together, too, it's going to force out Valentina's fate of both worlds, though, being on that Luna, and Chime goes out with it, with Cal getting the headshot. It's going to be a double Groot hug, but who gets the shish kebab as the Meteor M fails to hit its mark? Groot walls for days, though, blocking everybody to isolate them, but at least with the Phoenix ultimate, they take out the threat that was Cal.
Yeah, I think that Kalush hit the very tip of that wall, which was just such unfortunate. That would have been a 5-piece, but it doesn't matter. The Vanguard special, Window and Kalush get it done as they continue to ride through point 2.
You just go next here, you hold forward, and the rest of Envy get to clean up on aisle 3, and they still have that invisible boundary coming up next for this next choke.
And just what a performance so far here. Now Mace is going to have that ult ready to go. Outside of that, Chime will be the one to follow, but Month can give this team the sustain, followed by Speedery. Speedery probably looking to go on the offensive if they do choose to go that route. Mace once again just taking a beating, just trying to be front there. Speedery, there it is. He's on the offense like I thought would happen now. Pushing forward and pushing them back. I mean, look at what Envy's doing.
That's fine, though, here. At least when he backs away, Chime with the Manta's ultimate brings everybody together with a Soul Resurgence, and that also allows them to keep themselves alive at the end of the extermination. Month still holding onto that visible boundary, and with Window moving up, the invisible boundary from Month allows them to hold up. Hog, though, this could go big. They gotta look to the sky here as Mace, Meteor M, trying to send it, yeets it in a different direction as Window brings everybody together. Chuckles gonna have it second, though, going into this next fight.
I mean, they're doing exactly what I thought they were about to do with Chuckles, but no. Mace went out through the meteor, didn't get the connection right now. We just saw 4 Vanguard ults and 4 whiffs at that, or at least no connections. Now Chuckles now trying to find a misplaced window, going with the ult themselves. Finally does come out. The follow-up's going to be there. Chime, Chuckles, everybody gets a piece of the pie. Oh my goodness, look at Chime with the 3.
Chime damage boosting Chuckles, Chime damage boosting Stinkers. We're talking about usually you don't get to see that triple coming out from Dreamland, but they had the Mantis available for them. They lean into the win condition and showcases why we keep seeing Mantis being banned.
Yeah, but look at what Envy has. I mean, they've got more than enough of confidence here to get this now. A little awkward portal. Cal's got the Kraken. Oh, what? Look at the eyes and the awareness of finding him. Oh, but he can't get it. The show comes out. Keeps the reset at bay.
Can we talk about the clutch save from Jabori right there? Even with the God of Mischief, though, to also help out Valentina. The insurance policy I didn't know I needed. Nero gets frozen, but Speedery is going uncontested in the sky, and Chime is falling low. Very close to that Soul Resurgence for the Mantis. Oh, but doesn't pop it off. Month after making the swap off is going to be able to find him.
The unsung hero of Team Envy at times. Here comes the Agamotto. Lands it. Cal. Nero to follow. Window with the quick whip of the Sorcerer Supreme's magic. And they look to firmly get point number 2. I mean, just like that. You thought you could stop it. No, we're going to continue. But Dreamland doing a good job, Vicky. Only 1:27 on a very hard and long point to get.
Yeah, it's just crazy with Envy knowing the win condition in that equation, right? It was Chime there, and being with take prevented a forever stall. Dreamland do not have the Doctor Strange. I don't believe so here, as Envy now have months still with that invisible boundary, getting it online as they continuously approach more of these shows.
Yep, you're correct. They tried to ban out Mace. Strange was part of that package there. Undefeatable coming out. We saw what Chime did last time. Good rotation of the ults. Month is going to keep this team at bay. Kaluge now over to Captain. We don't see much. There's that strategist sub-ult, if you will. Chuckles, though, gets Speedery out of this thing with the ult to boot. What a huge stop.
Chuckles, the Groot sniper out here. Take him out of the skies. And with Speedery going down with the extermination, this is going to be a team fight win in favor for Dreamland 4 right now. And now you have Envy with less than 40 seconds on the clock to get to the finish line.
And once again, they've got the ults they need. However, they have a lot longer way to go. Cal does have the Phoenix that can combine with Speedery. I think that's going to be the look they go for. Kaluge is forever away from his ult. The Agamottos haven't perfectly gone their way, but Window always looking for the window there as extermination goes out, and they just look to push him back.
Just creating that space. That's what we love to see when it comes to these Ultron Ultimates too. Even if you want to keep your team alive, it's the double whammy. But the Groot Hog now coming in from Chuckles. It's the Wombo combo. Slam down, fan down as Jabor gets a follow-up right afterwards. Stinkers now has everybody in their line of sight. I have Agamotto though from Window. The last hurrah does not find it smart. These Groot walls from Chuckles have just been on another level, and Jabor is gonna have the dance off as Dreamland take out Envy, as Envy want to desperately retouch with his Eternal Bond.
Hey, Groot, you are gone. Chuckles is playing lights out, and honestly, all of Dreamland have responded to what they've needed to as Jabor gets another stagger, and Envy is just looking to try to get this thing up the ramp. Cal with the Phoenix left, but not much to follow. They can combine this with Kaluge. They're going to go right away, put the pressure on. Lamps out. Kaluge pushes forward. Sliver left here, Vicky.
But with Cal using that Phoenix ultimate a little early now, Kaluge can't get the follow with the Meteor M. They're holding on to it against Valentina Eve to try to combat this, as Month has that invisible boundary to keep them alive. Here they go up, but it's going to be Mace that uses the Meteor M alongside Kaluge, but Mace finds their mark, the difference maker, as Window gets stunned. Nero being on the rocket brings back Cal, and we are having desperate swaps as Speedery is on the Iron Fist.
2 shots from the paint, but it was Mace who gets the slam dunk, and that's a big difference maker. Speedery now going to the desperate measure of Iron Fist. The Karate Kid throwing out the punches, keeping the Dragon defense up, the sustain out, and the damage up. Now Stinkers with the 1-2. Stinkers, Mace, Dreamland is going to put a firm finish and stop, but no, it is Kaluge making a portal and give this team a chance. It's not enough.
Put that cheaper town hall away, but desperate times call for desperate measures. Dreamland with the full halt, but can we talk about that group from Chuckles?
Honestly, Vicky, Dreamland, I mean, even though point 2 did get out of hand, they still answered what was happening perfectly, right? I mean, we saw what Jabori was able to do and just the finish there from the team. I felt like they always had an answer, and most importantly, they were aware of what was going on. This moment not being too big for them. They can beat this Envy team. They know they can. They can prove it right now by just making it up the slope.
It's just been so close every single time. You let Dreamland have the Mantis, and you take away where their strengths were, and you want to put in that focus while using up those mans. That's fine. Look how they made this Mantis work in their favor. While we take a look at the stats, Valentina Eve herself, the way that she's been able to flex into these different strategies, 39,000 healing on the board. You look on the other side, Speedery, even though he was on that Ultron prior, that damage output is incredible here.
Yeah, looking at just, I mean, the difference from this team, and really, it's cheesy, but it comes down to confidence. I feel like I've seen this team against kind of the big, bad wolves of rivals, and what we've seen here from the orgs. They look like they belong, and that is what I think this team needs to have in terms of confidence going forward. Envy, though, we've seen it now. We've seen it again. The final boss energy, if they're down, it just means they're right where they want to be. Kaluge now hugging the pillar alongside Speedery, who we don't get to see on Magneto too much, but we are going to get that rotation here for the opening of the point.
I'm able to see Kaluj being on that thing here too, with Window already setting up these walls. Looking behind him, taking a lot of that damage, having to be careful, get stunned out here. And the Angela from Mace, we've seen it before, we see it again, just snubbing right through that tree. And call him 99 woodcutting maybe here, because of the way that Mace now flies up around, it's called controlling the space.
A great job bringing this out, you know, and surprising the team. We saw this from Mace on Spider Island before, kind of the secret in the bag, if you will. Angela getting some good success in this tournament, but one team has Strange. It's in V. Window now throwing up the portal. Team follow through. Kaluj is back on Thor, folks. Wait, actually on Thor. He flashed it for a second. Now he gets to play the God of Thunder. It's Asgardian versus Asgardian.
We are starting to see the meta shape up in a different way, especially after our last interview. The Thor could work out here in this triple Vanguard lineup. They're finding some picks, but Cal also being able to bring Nero back, just as big for Envy's defense.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if they continue to play that Angela, if Cal will go to Winter Soldier. Such a good counter to the hero at the moment, but Viz could do the same here now. Month just having to look where Mace is at all times, and looking at the old charge, Chime getting very close there on the Hella. Jabrori can get more to follow, but Kaluj building up, bullying out, but Mace is going to be the one with the laugh with Speeder going down.
Well, Mace is just trying to go for these kidnapped. Beautiful sleep, by the way, but Valentina being able to get that pick even bigger as the numbers are dwindling. You call in the extermination, you use the Sia that goes down right afterwards, but with no follow potential, you're just stalling out, with Chime also being able to get the reset on the Goddess of Death.
Yeah, kind of an interesting ult here, but you know what? Might as well try to get something from him. He's landing these from downtown. Holy hell, as Mace, Valentina, and Stinkers get more. That's not only one wipe, two through the portal. Not available. Speeder now going to their best character in Psylocke, ready to lock and load. But my gosh, Chuckles and the entire team has been playing perfectly, Vic. They have everything they need.
The way that they've been cycling through these ultimates, the way that they've been able to isolate NV2, the Mace being on the Angela, making these playmaking abilities to allow Dreamland to get these follow-ups. Chuckles being on the high ground, though, and Stinkers popping off, finding a quick 2K here, by the way. This leaves Envy forcibly to back out, but Month is not giving out without a fight. It's a stall for a lifetime, while Chime cleans up the rest.
Chris Pratt, step aside. I mean, it's Stinkers who's the true Star-Lord now, as he gets 3 on Cal, and they've got a lifetime to push through point 2.
I cannot believe this. We talked about the Star-Lord too before. That is a crazy part. We highlighted how great Star-Lord is when it comes to this map. Stinkers popping off again on a very comfortable hero as he has the legendary. He unleashes, tries to choke out Envy in this choke right now. And with Month having the invisible boundary, it's a lot of pressure, but Mace suffers for holding forward.
Yeah, either you gotta, you're forcing the invisible boundary, they force it to rotate and they get some space, so they chose that route, right? Smart of Envy to do that, not waste the resource, but also it was good for Dreamland to get the space they need. Jabrori, look for this Jeff ult, guys. We've been saying it. Baby Shark, do. Is it delete or is it gonna be team wipe? Now as Cal looks for more, here comes the Shark, the Swallow. He's got 2 teammates, 2 allies, but he falls before it can happen.
That could have been so big because everyone was grouped up together in that invisible boundary. Mace, though, with the Dragon Spear, sends him over, and that's all you know as Month goes out. But Nero's right here with the fate of both worlds to keep everybody alive through this Goddess of Death here. Kaluch is going to be able to find Valentina, find Mace, make it a quick 2K with Stinkers getting stunned just ever so slightly. And now Dreamland are forced to back away, but this Hulk and no more setup are proving useful for Envy.
All right, Kaluj is like, all right, okay, I'll just flash Thor on the screen some more at the beginning of the start screen. I'll go back to my first love or second in Magneto. 99 and climbing, 2 minutes left, a minute and a half wiped off just like that, even with the space they got initially. And you look what's up here. I mean, if you're Dreamland, they don't have much here. Envy doesn't have much to sustain any damage you can put out. We've got to see what Stinkers can do here.
Big first pick, though, off that whale. Beautiful follow-up here. Window does get frozen, but has a reset available. With Jabor going down, though, they just want to back away. That's going to be very important for them to build up into that God of Mischief. And Stinkers going out next. That's more time wasted away here from Dreamland.
Yeah, tick here as Kaluj and Speedery are just holding up a front wall with Window pressuring them as well now. Chuckles ult building, so they're a mile away from that. Mace, though, can't connect with Stinkers. That's going to be the combo to try to open up at least 1, maybe 2 picks. They have Valentina 2. We'll see. The clap is still going. They can keep the team alive. Not forcing the ult yet, and there it is.
And keeping everyone to move forward here, too. Through that extermination as Kaluj goes up, tries to find the Meteor M. Could it be point blank maybe on the Phoenix, though, but diverts their attention after the Phoenix flies over his head in the middle of that Meteor M. Misses out, and as Window has that reset here, too, you slam down with the Phoenix ultimate from Stinkers. Chuckles falls low, and Mace with the Meteor M now looking for their mark. Tries to get a cheeky little hit from inside the building, and now Window is forced to reset. Cal also having another will while he's getting so much damage output on this No More swap.
Yeah, good priority to get rid of Window whenever he was in his Monster Hulk form, right? Instead of using it on somebody right there, he goes for the quick hit. It does get him down and out. Ultimately, Cal with the whale, the Giganto. We've seen it used against him before. Let's see it go for him now as the dance floor continues damage out. Luna, nothing from it right now. It's an old show, and all that's happening is graphic cards dying because nothing on the field.
It's going to be the Loki that just wants to join in on the dance party sometimes here. Chuckles has that Groot hug, and with finding Speedery, though, right before Kaluch, that's a big first pick because you want that survivability to allow Dreamland to at least make some space finally in these last 30 seconds.
And I'm blown away by Chuckles and Mace and how they've been able to go toe-to-toe with two of the best in the biz here now. 22 seconds left. Dreamland, they've been here before. They saw victory in their sights, and they fell short, Vicky. Same song, same dance. 15 seconds to prove it.
The only difference is, once again, they do not have the recontention ability with that portal as Dr. Strange was banned out for them. Chuckles, Stinkers could go for the Wombo combo right here. It's the extermination, though, as Speedery takes to the skies, just trying to hold back that Magneto. He's finding himself, though, in this side room. That could actually work against him. But right now, Envy have the number advantage, finding both Chime and Jabori, both strategists, only leaving Valentina to keep everybody alive.
And no Strange to bring him back. So every elimination is massive going against this team. Stinker's trying to get the job done different. He does get one, but goes down. Valentina now trying to keep this thing alive. Just able to keep the point hot and ready to go now. Mace. Oh, what a action! Mid-air Mace is what they call him, though. Valentina going down. Mace forced to go back here. Team is here, ready to go. Beast of the Abyss. This could spell doom.
Oh, but doesn't get the follow-up here with Mace finding Kaluj next right now. MV, they had the number advantage, but Dreamland have all regrouped together, and they're going through a rotate of their own with Jabori close to that God of Mischief. MV now recontest, and they have the invisible boundary, so this fight is going to go for a long time.
No portal on Dreamland's side, and they do that. Are you kidding me now? As Jabori is able to put the show on. Month goes up. Nero's got another one. This looks near impossible for Dreamland. Can they make the dream alive and come back from what seems impossible here as dancing goes on and battle commences? Agamotto out, Swallow to follow, and it's nothing happening outside Speeder and getting the pick.
Because it's so close with the overtime. Look how close it is by a few pixels. They cannot get off the point, which is even harder when you have Cal wiping out the point, and with Kaluj, the nail in the coffin with the Meteor M.
Holy hell. I mean, listen, moral victories don't exist, but you got your seed now if you're Dreamland, and you know you were right there to win against a team that made it all the way to the finals to win the mid-season finals and get close to it. Wow, Envy just showing how well their defensive efforts are. Bend, don't break mentality. Window with the MVP on the Venom. That was insane, Vic.
Man, I just looking at the fact that they were still able to recontest and still rotate through another set of ultimates looking at Dreamland, that was a good fight. Very good fight against the best team, honestly, with the way that Envy has been and how they've looked. This was a very difficult matchup, and Dreamland put on a very good fight. But looking at the stats alone, making those readjustments, Envy were able to take that series.
I mean, yeah, we talk about the Atom Res all the time, but how about the Strange Portal? I mean, Dreamland won, right? But no, because the portal brings them right back into the action with two strategist ults to boot. One team had it, one didn't. Ultimately, that was going to be their demise. I'm not sure on that last battle if it would have mattered either way, but that definitely just shows what happens in the big ban phase of things. And listen, Envy didn't have any kind of shocking highlights, Vic, right? The stats are great, but they're not like eye-popping. They don't need to, right? This team just gets what needs to be done, and that's the dub.
Yeah, it's literally just cohesion as a unit and the way that they're able to pop off together as a team. We saw some pop-off moments from individual players on Dreamland, especially from the group that we saw from Chuckles at times. And then even the Angela isolation picks from Maze. At the end of the day, though, Envy, all they really had to do was just stall out on Dreamland. They got that payload to the finish line. It's all about stalling here and the way that they just had to regroup even if they found themselves losing out on those early fights.
Let's take a look now at our MVP. It was Window yesterday. It's Window today. Look at the man. Look at that absolute just power pose. 24 KOs, 11 casualties. What a way to hang in there with his team and be that Venom that we know he is. I'm telling you, this team just does not have a weak point.
Yeah, man. Just Envy is just so scary. Window, Kalush together. You talk about a scary lineup, and again, that's why it was really impressive to see how Mason Chuckles fared up against them individually. Like Groot with 75k, Magneto with 75k, and then you look at Window, right? Pulling up with that Venom at the very end, 76,000 damage block in favor for Window with 13 final hits while still being able to play aggressively.
Absolutely. I mean, I never get tired of watching Envy because I feel like they get it done in different ways. And heck, all the notes I had on them can scratch it out because they played that a lot different than what I was expecting. I mean, they had to obviously adjust to things, like the Mace playing Angela. But what they were able to do is just lock in on what they're comfortable with, and that is just countering at their very best. I mean, they made the perfect swaps at the perfect time, and they were able to get the win here.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk to one of the members of Envy too, just to take away from just that fight here against a team that has put in a lot of work and have been together for a while, but even crazier, having the experience talking to Kalush. Congratulations, Kalush.
Thank you.
What's up, bud? It's good to see you again. It's been a couple of months, and good to finally talk to you live here, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Just got another dub. I think it's top 3 seed, which is really good for us. So, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you guys, last time in the grouping stage was a little bit of a different song and dance for you guys. But looking at what was the midseason, right? You guys getting to where you got. Walk me through a little bit of the difference. I mean, obviously, you brought Tap in. Cal was here today. You guys have the flexibility available. What is the difference, though, of that team versus this team of Envy, even though it's only been a couple months?
I feel like the last version of Envy, we had players that could play like certain heroes, but those heroes were not meta. And then there wasn't like that aspect of grinding like the characters that actually needed to be played. And I feel like Tap is the guy, you tell him, I need you to play Adam. Next day on stream, I watch him play 10 hours Adam. Like the guy's dedicated. Cal's really been picking it up because they're fighting for that spot, so it's a good thing to have that extra guy.
Hell yeah.
I really like that. I wanted to pinpoint just you and Window together. It looks like you guys are a wall side by side, especially on that last map. Can you guys talk to us a little bit about how that communication is like between you two when you're double frontlining?
It's a lot of like trading point aggro. So like I'll be like, all right, I can touch now, and then like I'll tell him like I gotta get off. He'll come and touch. Like it's just kind of just me and him bouncing off calls whenever we can, and it helps us keep the point locked down.
Hey, listen here, man. I don't know if you're just trying to cosplay for Halloween. You had Thor out there for a second, man. I mean, I know you could play Thor, man, but in the game, too, come on now. I mean, is Thor starting to make his way back in? We just talked to a team who said, okay, we like him on some pressure points there, but yeah, I saw him flex for a second.
He's one of those characters. He's like, he outputs a lot of damage, but a lot of characters got to be gone. Like, Emma has to be out of the game. Phoenix really destroys him. Like the other tanks just have more util most of the time, so it's really hard to play him in certain spots. But if you get the bans right, then he's really good, I think.
I have one last question, because looking at the way that 4.5 patches are looking and hearing you say that, where do you think Thor is going to be after the changes of 4.5?
I feel like he's still going to be in like a B to C tier spot. Like he'll be played in niche places, but he's never going to be like the character that you pick out of the gate. Like Mag is just way too good. All these other dive tanks, like Venom just got a buff. That character is going to be permanently played.
Yeah, Venom, man. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's going to be a permanent ban.
It's really
not going to be able to play
yeah.
him as much.
Yeah.
Well, hey, listen, man. You guys are going to be able now to go and advance. You're going to be playing either FlyQuest or Rad. Both those teams obviously on fire a bit. I know Cal now. Here in person, but got to know you guys. I know you want the win back. That was the closest fight probably of the tournament so far of you and Fly. You guys kind of trading that 1 and 2 as what the public thinks. Do you want that revenge match?
Oh yeah, 100%. I really want to play him again. I want to play him in the next bracket too. I'm waiting for that. That's when it really matters.
The elimination, man. Well, hey, you know, if things go as I expect to see you again in Georgia, and we'll grab a drink and say what's up again. Always fun talking to you, man. Pleasure seeing you here online. Celebrate with the team and reload for next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. That is Kalush with Team Envy, showing, as always, not only the muscles but the calmness that the seasoned vet does there, Vic. And what a good fight, even though it was 2-0.
Yeah, I like picking Kalush's brain too. A veteran in the scene and has so much experience as a competitor there too, and